Ladies and gents, welcome. My name is Wasmatic. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Stanley Parable. I do believe we are on episode 7 now, and I'm going to set the time. It is exactly 1 PM here. It's 1:02 to be precise, because yesterday when I set the time it did some funny stuff. It asked me to save my favourite time of day, but I was honest. That's exactly what I did. Gave them the correct time. I'm going to be honest, how accurate? It's accurate. Totally accurate. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. Okay. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders for you to gather new data, on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple of new ones up. Alright. This has me slightly worried. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. We shall see. No. I'll have to make sure we do that for episode 8. Here we go. So, we're going to begin the game again.
This is the story of a...
Skip that. So what we've been doing is taking the bucket and exploring all of the original Stanley Parable routes, but with the bucket. So this time we're going to go through the door on the right.
All of his co-workers were gone.
With the bucket.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But we're going to take the door on the left this time and explore those routes. So
the good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
That's right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
So we're going to go through that door on the left that's open. We've explored all of the routes straight on.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Yeah, so we're going to go in the door on the left and down the left.
So the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
This time with the bucket.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
I quite like my bucket, though. Okay, Adventure Line, here we go.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Can't jump down. Can I jump down? No, I can't jump down. No. Ah.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content
Drugs and
exactly
hookers.
like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Not the bucket. No, not the bucket. I love my bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
Yeah, go on.
Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Well, let me.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
It wouldn't let me. Oh, hello. I'm having a religious experience.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Back to the start then. Back to the start.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Yep, straight on this time. And left. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, I can't open that. Trust the completionist instinct. There will be a reward for finding them all. Small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure their retrieval. There are many questions. There was no memo from management. Maybe we are the collectibles. How can you tell? You spotted one, makes them float in the air. Who took these pictures of them? Mission status. Stairs? Something to do with stairs. Inside of a sequel exhibit. Okay. Nearby a fireplace. That would be the boss's office. A private but smelly place for an important person. Ah, that'd be the boss's toilet. Alright. So... You know what I'm not sure about there is the stairs. Something to do with the stairs. I think I might know. Room closet?
Oh, Stanley. Can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be. given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Who said it? All that narrative.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment, and to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies, easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Go on, one more. Let's try. Okay. Something to do with the
Coming to a
stairs.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Down. There we go.
Okay, I'm going back to the name
That's the
of these
stairs.
little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
It's Stanlerines for me. It's the best name. Oh, this is the loop.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive
we're in the
economy,
loop again.
why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this.
Lost
Who
me
knows
bucket.
what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious. he exclaimed. "Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it." Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
"Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket."
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
"Come to me, Stanley. Find me."
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh, God.
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Not Miriam,
Mariella
Mariella.
woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Just like me. Time for a restart. Ladies and gents, let's call it the end of episode 7. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget I stream on Twitch intermittently, usually at least 3 evenings a week, GMT. And please subscribe, because I want you to. No, I'd appreciate subscribes, comments and shares if you have the time and the inclination. And I will see you in episode 8, where we will do the same thing again, over and over, with our bucket. Goodbye.